Plaintiff Tara Long says she's a recovering crack addict who's been clean and sober for 18 months. Tara started dating the defendant after they met in rehab, and they eventually moved in together. But they broke up after he assaulted her and blackened her eye. Tara's suing for her personal property and rent. Defendant Terrence Granville admits that he was addicted to crack for 20 years, and he decided to clean up his act after his father passed away. Terrence says his relationship with Tara ended after she relapsed, and he insists he purchased the property Tara is suing for.
Prove your case.
I know you're a judge that's into second chances, and I'm definitely a person that is working on a second chance.
Good. What happened to your first chance?
Well, I like to tell you, I'm a recovering addict. Right now, having 18 months clean and sober. I'm currently enrolled in a criminal justice program at Everest Institute in Rochester, New York, and I've been enrolled ever since I came out of rehab.
How long ago was that?
I was released from rehab February 2008. Good. I had a minor relapse, but I'm doing better.
All right, good. What type of drugs were you using?
My drug of choice was crack cocaine.
All right.
That's where me and Mr. Granville met, actually, in rehab.
That's where you all met?
Yes, sir.
He was a crackhead, too?
Yes, sir, he was.
That true, sir?
Yes, sir.
Crackhead?
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead.
Anyway.
Folks laugh. People laugh. Once again, I have to explain this all the time. Why do you call people crackheads? Because you want to pretty it up. Yeah, I mean, that makes you feel bad. If I make you feel good, calling you, oh, he's afflicted with the disease, that'd make you feel sorry for yourself. I don't want you to feel sorry for yourself. I want you to feel bad so that you never go back.
That's right. That's right.
Now, if I make you feel good and make you feel like, oh, it's all right, you're going to be all right, baby. You just had a little substance abuse problem. You're going to go right back. If I say, oh, you a crackhead?
Yes, sir.
Then, right, am I right? See, you know. Am I right?
Yes, sir, I do.
See, a recovering addict knows that I'm doing it correctly.
Yes, sir, you
right,
are.
make them feel bad so they don't go back. Go ahead. The two of you met in rehab what year?
2008.
Okay. Tell me what happened.
I kind of chased Mr. Granville down.
You chased him?
Chased him down. Chased him down. Like what I saw.
All right.
At least I thought I did then.
Yeah, you must have been high that day. Go ahead. Just kidding. I'm just kidding, sir. She the one that said, at least I thought I did. So when she said, at least I thought I did, I'm saying that maybe she was high because she said she thought.
Maybe.
Go ahead.
Nonetheless, well.
So you chased him down.
Chased him down. He kissed me and wooed me.
Okay.
Once we left rehab, I moved in with Mr. Granville and his mother for a brief moment, approximately 3 weeks. After those 3 weeks, Mr. Granville and I got into an apartment on our own, which was actually my apartment. Till about November of 2008, Mr. Granville and I had a major altercation where he blackened my eye and was arrested. I have that.
What was that about?
I can't recall as to why we got into it. I do remember I was trying to use the telephone and he told me I couldn't use the phone and he swung and he hit me in my eye.
What else you want to tell me? How did it ultimately end, the relationship?
Mr. Granville and my son had came to visit. I have an older son that's in college and he came home to visit. And for whatever reason, Mr. Granville had developed an attitude. I don't know what for, I don't know why. He does that. Nonetheless, I didn't choose to be in the apartment because once again, he has the tendency to.
So what happened?
Oh, well, he moved. I came home on the 8th of March.
You say you didn't choose to be in the apartment.
Right, because I went.
He didn't choose to be in the apartment.
Well, no,
if you came home and he was gone.
Well, actually, I was.
Hear a little background from him.
Okay.
Sir?
Yes, Your Honor. As she stated, we met in rehab. You know, I was in there. Was getting high for 20 years, and I had to go and straighten myself out. My father passed away in 2006, and he always wanted me to get myself together. You know, I got into rehab. I've been 3 years clean now.
Good.
You know, and, you know, as far as the relationship part went, you know, she saying she moved, I moved. You know, because she was getting high. She was relapsed.
Oh, she relapsed?
Yeah, that's what the whole reason why she's suing me now, because of this furniture thing. That
now, let me just tell you both, somebody here is violating the program, because one of those steps, or two of the steps, I think somebody is violating. One, being honest. Two, repairing the damage you caused. You know, I want viewers and audience members to know that part of that rehab thing, the 12-step program, an important part of that is to go back and make amends for the people you harmed. Because we have so many drug addicts and alcoholics who, during their usage, they ruin their family, they ruin their kids' lives, they steal from their parents, they do all these bad things and harm so many other people with their actions. When they wake up one day, I'm going to rehab. And they come out and think the world should be at their feet clapping for them, and they can wipe away all the damage. No, that's why the 12 steps say, no, you repair that damage. I had a person just the other night I was debating with, made me so angry, a recovering addict. And we were talking about a lot of the burden others had to share for him because of his addiction. And first thing out of their mouth, okay, I was on drugs. Yeah, you were on drugs then, but you haven't repaired it yet. And you're still doing some of the same things now that you did when you were on drugs, even though you claim, I know what I'm talking about, don't
Yes,
I?
you do.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
you
know
do.
what I'm
Yes,
talking
you do.
about. I studied this thing. So, somebody's violating the 12-step program, personal property and rent. How does he owe you for it?
Okay, Your Honor, when me and Mr. Granville decided to move into this apartment and give it a go again, we also made a verbal agreement that the furniture that we purchased, we would both have a room. In case we didn't make it with each other, that both of us would leave with a room.
It's a lie. She lying right there.
Let her finish.
I have the furniture receipt right here for
Let's
my
see.
bedroom set and my mattress set.
Now, what's the rent for?
The rent is for, because Mr. Granville and I, when we moved in, we signed a lease together. And Mr. Granville left, we signed the lease February 1st, he left March 8th. The rent lease wasn't up till April 30th. So he's also, here's the rent receipt that I paid for
Let's see it.
for the rent in the month of March. Here's Mr. Granville's change of address, where he had requested a change of address on March 5th. Here's the lease, where Mr. Granville is signed, and we were entered on this lease until April 30th.
Yeah, but she didn't pay the rent for 2 more months. They suing me.
They're suing me as well.
You didn't pay the rent. You said you was paying the rent.
You said you were too. You left.
Yeah, but I moved out. So hey,
And you don't know why.
she kept relapsing.
Right.
No, that's
and so
not.
I'm inclined to believe him,
Your
man.
Honor. Your Honor, when I left, I was gone.
You
I
would
was
have
out of
known why
town.
that man moved.
We haven't spoke.
She knew why. She knew why we got into this with this furniture. I told her before I purchased all this furniture, Your Honor, I got a settlement from disability.
When did you receive your settlement?
January 26, 2010. I got
All right.
$24,000.
Ma'am, and where do you say you received the money to buy all this
I
furniture?
have school loans, Your Honor, where I was getting my school checks, and I also was receiving SSI. Here's my photocopies of the last 3 school checks that I received.
Let's see them. All right, and that was...
After we purchased the furniture.
There you go. That's the
Right.
point. It was after you purchased the furniture.
Yes, it is, but I
He
had
showed me evidence of monies before the furniture was...
those 2 before that, those are the checks that I had, and I saved money with my father and as well as my girlfriend, and I also received SSI.
Let's get to who has receipts. Let's look at that. You said something about you
I got
having a
receipts,
receipt.
bank statements where I took $5,000 out each time we went shopping. But I stated to her before I even paid for this. She was in a shelter.
When was that?
That was in January
Of what?
2010.
Ma'am, have you ever been in a shelter?
Yes, sir. 'cause
Were
I
you
was,
there January of 2010?
Yes, sir, I was. That was because he threw me out his
So
mother's
1 month
house.
later,
she was
you were able to
relapsed.
spend thousands of dollars on furniture.
No, Your Honor. I had saved money. My witness had
You
had
saved
my
money, but yet
and
you
my
went to
father.
a shelter.
Yes, sir, I did.
I got receipts from the furniture that
Let's see
I paid
what
for.
you have, sir.
I got, here go the, well, this
People
is-
who save money and have thousands of dollars, ma'am, they don't go to a homeless shelter. Ma'am, your story isn't making sense. Plus, I have a letter from the manager of Ashley Furniture, which says Terrence and Tara returned to the showroom to complete a purchase of a bedroom set. They had been into the showroom for a few days prior and wanted to return to make the purchase with cash to take advantage of our TV promotion. The sale was entered in the name of Tara due to the furniture being delivered to her apartment.
Your Honor,
The sale was paid for in cash at the showroom by Terrence Granville. I was the salesperson who was involved in the sale. It is on the letterhead and it is signed by the sales manager. What did you want to say?
That's not, it's incorrect. I paid for the bedroom.
Okay.
Here's a
no,
letter
I'm going to
from...
go with what he says. I believe him.
Okay.
Some of your statements were inconsistent as well. And I believe that he moved because, as he says, you relapsed. Therefore, I'm going to deny your claim. Claim is dismissed. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. I don't hate her. You know what I'm saying? I wish her well, man.
He's my baby's father. We're expecting a baby.
I don't think so of that, but I don't believe that, but I wish her
We'll be back in court then.
That's not mine.
That's what he says. He knows
like
better.
that. It is mine.
Hi, Judge Mathis. This is Megan. I have a question. If someone who owes me money passes away, can I sue the deceased person's family?
No, you can't sue their family members, Megan, but you can file a claim against their estate. Even if the family does not open a probate case, the deceased person's creditors can open a case. This will give a court jurisdiction over the matter so that the court can determine how the estate's assets and liabilities will be allotted.